if you're going to be financially independent, then you're going to need to get some hobbies. Here are a list of 20 hobbies that are very F.I.R.E. friendly that you should definitely consider trying out. And the very first one is card games and board games. Playing cards and playing board games can be an extremely fun activity for you and your family. It doesn't cost very much. You can pick up any board game or any deck of cards for $5 or $10, and it can literally provide endless hours of entertainment. And it's a really great way to bond with friends and family. I've definitely been playing a lot more card games and board games ever since I became financially independent. It's a really great way to spend your time indoors. Number 2 on this list is hiking. Hiking is one of my favorite activities because you can see so many beautiful areas that might be close to you or far away. It doesn't matter where you are, you can probably find somewhere to go hiking. And there are many beautiful landscapes to go hiking, especially if you live in the United States. We have very diverse and beautiful landscapes here, so we are very lucky. For number 3 on this list, we are going back indoors, and this one is journaling or writing or anything where you're just kind of putting your thoughts on paper. Whether you're doing it just to organize your thoughts, whether you're doing it just to get some stuff out of your head, or maybe you're writing something just for fun. I think that journaling and writing can be a great way to de-stress, and it's a very minimally taxing activity that pretty much anyone can get involved in. Rather than just hiking, which could be considered more strenuous, number 4 is just walking. Yes, believe it or not, walking can be a really great hobby. I think it's one of the best ways that pretty much anyone can get exercise, no matter what your fitness level is. If it gets you outdoors and it gets you exercising and moving, it's probably one of the healthiest things you can do for your body. It's pretty much free besides the clothes that you have to wear when you're outside. Number 5, again, we go back indoors, and instead of writing your thoughts out, you are going to be drawing or doodling. Something that I am definitely not very good at and something I don't really do very much at all. But if you're a lot more artistic than I am, then maybe this can be an activity that you can take up. It's really great for relieving stress, I hear. And of course, all you really need is a pen and a paper. You can do very minimal drawing, or you can get really creative and get lots of fancy supplies. It's really up to you. Running, or what I like to call the more extreme version of walking. I don't do too much running anymore, but back when I was in the military, of course, I had to run because I was tested on running, so I did a lot more running back then. Not so much anymore, but running can be fun. I think the best way to do running, in my opinion, is to do a fun event out of it. That's usually when I have the best time running, right? If I'm just running for running's sake, it's not so fun. But when I was personally running for a special event, I got a lot more enjoyment out of it. And you never know, maybe you will too. Just like with walking, all you really need is a good pair of shoes and some clothes to wear. And then you can get outside and enjoy the day. Number 7 on this list has to do with being a lifelong learner, and that is watching educational videos. And of course, what better educational videos are there out there besides watching on cash flow videos? You better like and subscribe this video, by the way, because if you're watching this video right now, that means you're already involved in this hobby, and I want to keep you involved. This guy knows his stuff. Number 8 on this list, probably one of the most popular sports in the United States, and that is basketball. And if you can tell by the way that I am dribbling and the way that I am walking, I do not play basketball. Not at all. Just because you're over 6 feet tall doesn't mean you know how to play basketball, and case in point right here. But basketball courts can be found pretty much everywhere. Almost every park is usually going to have a basketball court in the United States. And so it is very widely accessible. Anyone can play basketball because you probably have a basketball hoop that is very close to you. Next up on this list is strength training. This is a sport that I am more into, and this can be broadly applicable whether you're working out in a gym, you're working out outside, or you're working out at home. Strength training really just means challenging your body in a non-cardiovascular way. No matter where I'm at in the world, I try to get my strength training in. The footage of me you're watching now was actually taken in Barcelona, Spain, when I was living out there for 1 month, just having some fun. So there really is no excuse. I think that strength training is probably second to walking when it comes to one of the best things that you can do for your general health. And now number 10 on this list, we have tennis. Similar to basketball, you can usually find tennis courts in most public parks in the United States. I know that I have one that is not too far from my house, so if I really wanted to get involved in tennis, I could pretty much for free just play at this public park. All you really need is a tennis racket and a tennis ball and someone to play with, and tennis can be a really great F.I.R.E. sport to get involved in. And let me tell you, just like with basketball, you don't want to see me out there on the tennis court. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Next up at number 11 is reading. Everyone should be a lifelong learner, especially if you're someone who is serious about life improvement. One of the best ways you can do that is by reading. Reading is a time-tested way of expanding your knowledge and opening yourself up to new ideas and enforcing and strengthening existing ideas. Whether you read for information or entertainment, they are both going to highly benefit you in the long run. And like with most of the other 5 friendly hobbies, there is no excuse to not get involved in reading because most of us probably live within a reasonable distance of a public library, and public libraries are amazing places to get some free knowledge. Number 12, we have biking. Biking is one that I've actually more recently got involved in, but I've been using someone else's bike that I know, so I didn't have some time to make some B-roll myself. So enjoy these people who actually do know how to bike properly. I only do it for leisure. I don't necessarily do it for, a good workout or for competition, but that's perfectly okay. What I like about biking is similar to what I like about walking. It doesn't necessarily have to be a competition. It can be something that you're both getting enjoyment and fun out of while also getting a good amount of exercise for your body, especially low impact exercise that you can do for a long duration or many times a week. Next up at number 13, we are back to being lifelong learners, and that is listening to podcasts and audiobooks, both which can relatively easily be found for free. And I like to combine listening to podcasts and audiobooks while I'm walking or if I'm driving in the car or any other activity where there's not really much going on, so I can just focus on what is being said in the audiobook or what is being talked about in the podcast while also doing some other low focus activity. And then we have number 14, one of my all-time favorites, camping. I love to go camping. I do it every single year. And I've done it in many different locations, many different landscapes, from the mountains to the deserts, down to the beach. Anywhere they let me sleep on the ground, I'll go ahead and get out there and do it. Because not only do you get to experience the beautiful outdoors, it can also be a really great place where you bond with friends and family. There's nothing that compares to just sitting around in a nice little campfire, cooking some really great food over it, maybe enjoying some s'mores, and just talking, or even just sitting there and thinking about life. Next up at number 15, that is cooking. You wouldn't believe how many people nowadays don't really know how to cook. And I'm not saying that I know how to cook or anything, but I'm just saying that I do cook so that I can eat. I like to eat. Just because I'm cooking some frozen broccoli in this particular video doesn't mean I don't know how to cook other things, okay? I personally mostly cook for the healthy part of it, and I leave the delicious, tasty offerings for the restaurants to do for me. You can cook because you want to eat healthy, or you can cook because you want to eat something bad. As long as you get out there and cook, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a great hobby to have because it can literally save you $1,000 per year over eating out. Next up at number 16 is photography and videography. Now, I'm not much of a photographer myself, but my wife is. She's really interested in taking some really nice shots, as they call it. And I myself really admire and appreciate a good photo. And you don't necessarily have to be doing it to get the perfect shot or to get the perfect video. You could just be recording or documenting something that you are doing, just like I am here with these beautiful little turtles in Hawaii. Next up at number 18, we have do-it-yourself projects. I think this can be a great hobby, especially if you are a homeowner and there's stuff that you can improve and fix up in your own home, which if you are a homeowner, you know that there's always something that you could be doing, right? Now, I haven't done anything too extreme, but I have done some smaller stuff, such as spruce up my kitchen and make it more minimalist. I've actually taken out a lot of cabinets because I just like that look. And I've done something similar with my bathroom on a smaller scale. You'd be surprised how much a space can be transformed in just a few short days and a few hours of hard work. Next up at number 18, we're going to take those house projects and we're going to go outside, because gardening and landscaping are similar DIY projects that you are just doing on the outside of your house pretty much. I haven't really gotten too much into gardening. We do have a few fruits and vegetables that we are trying to grow on our deck, and me living in the southeast, we do get a lot of rain, and so I'm always out there doing some kind of landscaping, trying to keep all the trees and the bushes from getting too crazy. Next up at number 19 is local events. There are many cities and localities that put on free events for their citizens. One of the favorites where I live is they seem to like to put on a lot of little mini concerts for people to get together, and they bring out the food trucks. The video that I'm showing you is not a local concert. This is actually a concert that I went to, but it was a big concert. But you get the idea. All you have to do is go onto your favorite search engine and look up your location or a location near you and put events, and you will find most likely the government website that hosts all the events or some kind of organization that is tasked with running these events. Take a look at the calendar that they usually offer and see if there are any events that interest you. Last but certainly not least, we're going back outside at number 20, and that is swimming. I used to swim a lot in my younger days, and I still like to jump in the water from time to time. You can see in this video me jumping into a beautiful cenote in Mexico. And whether you're swimming in a pool, a lake, a river, or whatever, get out there and enjoy the water. These are just some of the potentially 5 friendly hobbies that you could have. I would suggest that you try out as many hobbies as you can, because you never really know what is going to be your favorite until you try it. If you're on the path to financial independence and early retirement, you need something to retire to, not just something to retire from. And let me know in the comments below, what hobbies did I miss? What are some other FI-friendly hobby ideas that you have? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from OnCashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.